Well, Johnny, it's not often the Tampa Bay Lightning allow 40-plus shots against, but they do so in game number 2 against Montreal. But Vazzy was there to save all but one of those 43 shots on net.
That's why you love your goalies. When they can just bail you out, you have a terrible game, you're not on point, the other team's carrying the play, they're getting the chances. Yet Vasilevsky, for the first 2 periods, was unbelievable. The only reason this game was close and that Tampa eventually took that lead late in the second was because he was so on point. Montreal played so much better in this game. They had all kinds of shots. 40-plus, as you mentioned. They had a lot of traffic, a lot of lateral plays. Everything you want to do as an offense. They had plenty of power plays, except they could not solve Andrei Vasilevsky. And you get a sense of how good he's playing right now. The goals against speaks for itself compared to Carey Price. The 5-on-5 save percentage, an outrageous number. Short-handed Carey Price, that great penalty kill. But the number I like to focus on, goals saved above average. Basically means you put an average goalie in, and he would have let in 12 more goals than Andrei Vasilevsky has stopped. And Carey Price has a pretty good number himself with 4, but it's a third of Vasilevsky. I was
going to say 12 divided by 4 is 3.
You can do that
triple.
Math. He's done 3 times as many, and that is the challenge for Montreal. They know this guy is playing that well, and they have to run 4 out of 5 against him. That will be tough to do, but he was the reason Tampa won Game 2 and is up 2-0 in the series.
He certainly was, and despite the loss, a lot of positives to take out of this game for the Montreal Canadiens, including a better effort from some of the younger players.
Yeah, and Nick Suzuki didn't have a good first game. He knows that. He'd tell you that. He got matched up against Braden Point, Nikita Kucherov, and Kucherov and Point won that battle. And in Game 2, he played against those guys quite a bit. Maybe not quite as much, but enough, and he was much better. Played with confidence, was assertive, and certainly brought a shoot-first mentality to the game. He was putting pucks on net all night long and trying to break down coverage with shots and traffic. He was digging in on the faceoffs because he knows having possession and not having to chase Kucherov and Point around is really important. And so I thought he was the #1 center that the Montreal Canadiens count on him being. He's their most important offensive player, and so it's imperative that he plays really well. And throughout the game, start to finish, he was excellent. And he lucked out, I guess, on this long backhand dribbler that went in. But when you put almost 10 shots on net, maybe you do deserve a break every now and then. I thought that was a great bounce-back effort by Nick Suzuki to play as strongly as he did after being challenged and not having the game he wanted in Game 1. Really shows the strength of his game and of his mental discipline to not let it rattle him and come back and be even better. And how much better was he? Well, again, we look at the numbers. Game 1 versus Game 2. His Corsi percentage in Game 1, under 40, was the worst on the team.
No bueno.
Game 2, he's well over 50%. 56% of scoring chances when he's on the ice, and oh yeah, a tidy 9 shots on goal and the 1 goal. That is a stat-stuffing kind of night for Nick Suzuki, and the best part about it is he can take that confidence, come back to Montreal, and now get preferred matchups. He won't be against Point all the time, and maybe that opens him up for even more offense.
I'll tell you what, I play fantasy hockey during the regular season, and if I see a 9 spot in the shots on goal category, it's like I'm automatically buying the dude's jersey because I'm just like,
I don't know if I did that in my entire career one time.
Huge number.
It's a massive night.
Massive night for Nick Suzuki, and this goes without saying, for any team, scoring first is always important, but it might be the most important thing for the Montreal Canadiens going into Game number 3 because they have not led in this series yet.
Not yet, and you think about Montreal when they went that great run through Winnipeg and on into Vegas and how long they had that lead for. They went like 7-8 games without ever trailing.
It was wild.
And not surprisingly, the 2 teams in the finals are the 2 teams that have scored first the most in the playoffs. And Montreal, like every team, is more comfortable when you score first. It makes the other team chase the game a little bit. Makes them maybe force plays, which you can defend and then counterattack. It really sets up their game plan. And I think for Game 3, if they can get one early, well, one, it buys them a little cushion in case Tampa scores, which they probably will. And it also will light this building on fire. And I think they need to feel that kind of energy. It was certainly evident down in Tampa. Montreal would like to feel that from their fans here, but they have to give them reason to cheer. Play with the lead, get comfortable, get confident, make them feel like they're in the series instead of chasing it like they have for the first 2 games.
3 things the Montreal Canadiens will have in Game number 3 that they have not had this entire series. Their own fans in the building, Dom Ducharme behind the bench, and last change. We'll see what they do with those 3 things tomorrow here at the Bell Center.